Why was Sony's UMD format a failure? A media research project. What was Sony's UMD?
UMD is set to become a new global format.
UMD stands for Universal Media Disc, a format developed by Sony in 2005 for the PlayStation Portable system. It was designed to display on a 480 pixel screen.
UMD is a large capacity optical disc medium. Storage capacity is 3 times that of a CD-ROM.
UMD specifications: it weighs 10 grams. The UMD was encrypted with AES 128-bit. The UMD had a protective shutter that would shield the inner disk from contact. The rise of Sony's UMD. The UMD was revolutionary for its time. It was half the size of a CD. It could hold 140 minutes of DVD quality video. The capacity size of the optical disc was ideal for video games. This allowed for better graphics on the PSP than the competition. Rebecca J. Morgan's website says, Sony announced an initial UMD price range of $19.95 to $28.95. Due to the shortage constraints, special features such as deleted scenes and making of reels would often be removed. So what can the UMD actually do? Sony's UMD was being promised as a do-it-all media disc. It could play movies, TV shows, music, video games. The UMD had region-free coding for video games. Big selling point was that you could do all of this on the go, whether at home, on the bus, on a plane, in the backseat of a car ride, even walking. You could be playing UMDs on the go. Sony Computer Entertainment announced the music-based Universal Media Disc, UMD, a format which is used in PSP players, has already garnered interest among major music companies. GameIndustries.biz had this to say about Universal Pictures International UPI. They announced today its plans to release 3 waves of feature films titles in 2005 on the new Universal Media Disc format. Movies such as Van Helsing, 8 Mile, Born Supremacy.
We have also received interest from other major entertainment partners outside of games.
This was great news and was boasting amazing sales for the UMD product. As you can see, during the first few months of its release, the format could boast 70 available titles in the US alone and over 500,000 in sales. Sony Pictures had released 2 movies on the format and passed 100,000 sales within a month. This was outpacing what the DVDs did for its time during its release, and it took them about 9 months. With all the success of the UMD in the first few months was great. This brings us to the fall of the UMD. Despite the initial success of the UMD and being immediately adopted by every movie and TV studio, the UMD began to show signs of slowing down. This was bad news for the format because it was limiting to only one playing device, which was the PSP. CNET.com had this to say that studios released too many movies too fast. Within 5 months of the PSP's March 2005 launch, 239 movies and TV titles already were either in the market or in the pipeline, a significantly higher tally than games. And as you know, the PSP is meant for games, and if there's no games being made and sold, no one will buy the hardware that the UMD format can play on. Brings us to the limitations. UMD showed its limitations of its optical disc format in a big way. Movies had to cut deleted scenes and special features from the disc because of the capacity size of the UMD. Video games would have to take longer to load because of the reading of the disc and not having a viable way to offload some of that information onto the playing device. Missing features that the UMD didn't have compared to other optical discs such as the DVDs and CDs was there was no way to actually burn UMDs. Sony had not made any blank discs available to the public, so which in turn burning UMDs was never going to happen. But this did not stop hackers from cracking the format. One of the big issues was the housing unit itself was meant to protect the disc from exposure, from scratches and fingerprints. It would crack and break. So the lack of implementation on any other device was detrimental. This meant that the PlayStation Portable was the only way to play UMDs. This was limiting the UMD's market potential. So the end of the UMD, after 4 years of the format, it was finally coming to an end. In 2009, Sony began phasing out the UMD by pushing developers away from the format. Instead, they pushed developers towards digital distribution on the PlayStation Network, where they were preparing the launch of their new digital download-only PSP Go. In conclusion, the UMD was great as the potential was. They should not make a comeback. The limitations of the format outweigh any of the positives that the format had. It's been 12 years since the UMD was discontinued, and and it would not survive in the digital age, where everything is being streamed from the internet or cloud, downloaded on a solid-state drive or a Blu-ray disc. Any of these options dwarfs what the UMD could ever do in comparison.